Obviously not hitting stride. If. Oh, I got a couple calls with zoning and shit. That's a guarantee.
I now call the Norton City Council meeting to order for Monday, April 24th, 2017. The time is 7 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silent prayer. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Mrs. Richards, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. McGlone?
Here.
Mr. Kernan?
Here.
Mr. Pearson?
Here.
Mr. Towsley?
Here.
Mr. Pelot?
Here.
And Ms. Whipke?
Here. Committee of the Whole, are there any reports from the standing committee chairs? With no reports, we have nothing under Committee of the Whole, so we'll go on to communications from the public.
There's no one signed in.
We don't have any communications from the public, so we'll go on to considerations of the minutes. Minutes of April 10th, 2017, regular council meeting. Are there any additions or corrections?
I have none.
Minutes are approved as submitted. Minutes of April 17th, 2017, special council meeting. Are there any additions or amendments?
I have none.
Minutes are approved as submitted. Reports from officers, boards, and commissions. Mayor Zita.
Thank you. If I may, we were approached by the Summit County Mayors Association. Mayor Drew Klein from City of Stowe is also the chairwoman of the Autism Society of Greater Akron, and has requested that we do a proclamation, or for the cities to do a proclamation or resolutions just to support Autism Awareness Month for the month of April, which is this month. And we have elected to do a proclamation, and I would like to read the proclamation into record at this time. Whereas, beginning in 1992, the Autism Society of Greater Akron began their mission to grow awareness, raise money for, and support people and families that are affected by autism, including April as National Autism Awareness Month. And whereas it is known that autism is a lifelong disorder affecting 1 out of 45 children born in the United States. And whereas the City of Norton encourages that all community leaders, especially those with disabilities, are treated with respect and dignity by providing employment and volunteer opportunities, supporting programs to ensure academic and social success, and having positive interaction with people with autism, empowering them to pursue their dreams and live a healthy life. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Mike Zita, Mayor of the City of Norton, do hereby proclaim that on this 24th day of April in the year 2017, we recognize and support the Autism Society of Greater Akron, the month of April as Autism Awareness Month, and the City of Norton's commitment to support families in the community affected by this disorder. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Norton to be affixed on this 24th day of April 2017. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Messner?
Yes, Mr. Pearson, the state auditors have asked me to remind you that you still have not provided your fraud questionnaire.
That's due the 15th of May.
It was due back in February.
This is the end filing date, so I just looked at it. My attorney has it.
That's
That's different.
interject, that's a little different. What I think what you're referring to in May is the Ohio Ethics Commission's form.
Excuse me.
That is due May 15th.
Yes.
I think Mr. Messner's talking about something different.
Oh, okay. We'll take care of that.
It's the fraud questionnaire that they gave back in January, February, just after they had their pre-audit meeting with us.
I thought we did. Well, send it to my email, and I'll send that in immediately. Thank you.
Mr. Markey?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
We have no public hearings, so we'll go right on to the introduction of new legislation. Ordinance 46, 2017. Mr. Pearson.
Yes, I'd like to introduce ordinance 46, 2017 for its second reading. Carla, would you please read the ordinance?
First reading.
Oh, excuse me, first reading. We just talked about last week. My apologies. First reading.
An ordinance authorizing the administrative officer to execute and deliver an agreement with J.D. Striping and Services Incorporated and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Carla. I'd like to waive the second and third reading because we need to get this on the agenda and get it going. Can I get a second?
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. McGlone?
Yes.
Mr. Kernan?
Yes.
Mr. Towesley?
Yes.
And Mr. Pelot?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt said legislation 46, 2017.
I'll second.
Carla?
I have a
Mr. Pearson?
quick question first.
Go ahead.
Do we have a list of the streets yet?
She didn't get that to you? Okay. I don't have it with me this evening, no. I will get it to you. I will make it a point.
Thank you. That was it.
Carla, would you resume, please?
Sure. Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. McGlone?
Yes.
Mr. Kernan?
Yes.
Mr. Towesley?
Yes.
And Mr. Pelot?
Yes.
Ordinance 47, 2017. Mr. Pearson.
Yes, I'd like to introduce ordinance 47, 2017 for its first reading. Would the clerk please read the legislation?
An ordinance accepting the bid of Kavanaugh Building Corporation in an amount not to exceed $24,000 for the repaving of Silver Springs Drive and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Carla. I'd like to waive the second and third reading of this.
I'll second.
Carla, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. McGlone?
Yes.
Mr. Kernan?
Yes.
Mr. Towesley?
Yes.
And Mr. Pelot?
Yes.
Thank you. Now I'd like to make a motion to adopt legislation 47, 2017.
I'll second.
Mr. Pearson?
Yes.
Ms. Whipke?
Yes.
Mr. McGlone?
Yes.
Mr. Kernan?
Yes.
Mr. Towesley?
Yes.
And Mr. Pelot?
Yes.
Thank you. Introduction of prior legislation. Ordinance 41, 2017. Mr. Kernan.
Thank you, Madam President. I offer ordinance 41, 2017 for its third reading and ask the clerk to read it, please.
An ordinance prohibiting cultivators, processors, and retail dispensaries licensed under Chapter 3796 of the Ohio Revised Code within the city of Norton and declaring an emergency.
I move to adopt ordinance 41, 2017.
I'll second.
Before we vote, I would just like to say, we've looked at this several times. We've looked at what benefit is there to the city if we allow any of these to come into the city. There are no sales tax that come here. The only benefit would be the few people that would be actually working at the place, and there's not going to be much money there. The way the law is written at this point, it says that there must be a pharmacist available or on call, something like
I
that.
think a pharmacist has to dispense the medication.
I
Okay.
thought the pharmacist would review the record of dispensary. He does not have to be there.
No.
Yeah.
In any event, yeah.
So probably not even a whole lot of tax dollars there from a salary payroll type thing. So we can always revisit this if something changes in the Ohio law that makes it advantageous for the city to allow these in the city.
Thank you, Mr. Pelot. I would also indicate that just because Ohio has legalized this does not mean that the federal government has. And so there's some concerns and some questions regarding enforcement there, especially since the federal government still considers marijuana a Schedule I drug. We also have a new administration and a new outlook regarding enforcement of these types of laws, and